Good afternoon and welcome to the Remind, Chat, and Common Sense Education Digital Citizenship webinar. I'm Clara Galan, Content Marketing Manager and former teacher here at Remind, and I'm joined here today by Brisa Ayub, Education Content Producer at Common Sense Media, and Adam Welcome, Elementary School Principal in Martinez, California, who is also Principal of the Year and Advocate for Digital Citizenship. Welcome, Brisa and Adam, and thank you for joining us to talk about digital citizenship and the tools to teach it today.
Hi, guys.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So for those of you who are tuning in live today and are on Twitter, please use the hashtag DigCitChat, so that's DIGCITCHAT, for any questions or comments regarding the webinar, and we'll be sure to answer your questions here on the Hangout. So before we get started sharing some helpful resources, let's talk digital citizenship. So what is digital citizenship and why is it important to teach it in schools? Adam, why don't we go ahead and start with you?
Sure. You know, digital citizenship, being at an elementary school, I definitely feel it's the foundation of showing students the right path. You know, we say that the genie is not out of the bottle. You know, these technologies are not going away. In a few years, they may be something different, but I feel it's our duty to show students the right way and the right path. And I'm really excited about the Remind and Common Sense partnership with this curriculum, if you will. That's what we call things in schools for digital citizenship. And I'll talk about some more ideas later. But really showing kids the correct path. There are too many articles in the paper about students doing things that aren't appropriate and it affecting their college acceptance, you know, careers. So something definitely needs to be done. So I'm very, very excited about this.
Thanks so much, Adam, for sharing that from a principal's point of view. Brisa, what would you add to that? You know, what does digital citizenship mean to you, and why is it so important for both parents and students and teachers to teach it in schools?
So here at Common Sense, we define digital citizenship as someone who really knows how to harness the power of technology, both safely, responsibly, and respectively. So with kids spending about 7.5 hours a day with media, according to the Kaiser Family Foundation, we know that the need to teach technology in a digital citizenship kind of way has gone far beyond just learning about internet safety and passwords. We also know that 41% of students say that they leave their Facebook privacy settings on default. So we know that there's a lot of things that can be seen by third parties that they might not necessarily know that they're revealing. So it's really important to teach kids about how to avoid those risky situations, to think about before they self-reveal, about protecting their privacy as well as others people's privacy. So cultivating a positive digital footprint is all very important in this day and age, and with kids using technology every single day, it's important to start laying down those foundational components.
Thanks for sharing these really helpful insights. As you know, an important part of teaching digital citizenship also is making sure that the home and school are connected in order to share strategies and resources. So Adam, what are some tools or strategies that you use to keep parents in the loop about digital citizenship at John Swett?
Sure. You know, first off, you know, we actually use the Common Sense media curriculum in our classes. All of our 1st through 5th graders, actually, we put everything into a time block, and they actually go through all that. And everything that we do with the kids, I talk about with our parents at either a PTA meeting or our site council meeting. I feel that being good stewards of this transcends from the kids, but also to the parents, because the parents actually contact me all the time, like, how do I help out? I want to make sure my child is safe, but also that they're leaving a positive digital trail, if you will, where if I can Google someone's name, that it's going to be positive and we're not going to see negative connotations. So you know, we've taken it a step further, and I've actually hired social media interns at my school, where I have 5th graders under my direction that work with me on our Twitter account, on our Flickr account, and I show them hands-on how to be appropriate. What better way than to actually work with them and sit with them? And the response so far has been really powerful, and it's somewhat of a train the trainers model. I've shown 2 students, then they show the next 2, then they show the next 2, and hopefully then down the road when they're older, and they have more accounts on their own, and a friend of theirs may be doing something inappropriate, they can help them out and say, you know what, you probably shouldn't do that because here are the ramifications. So just talking about it is a great first step. You can't put it in the closet, like I said. The genie is out of the bottle. So those are some things that have been really helpful for us and really positive.
Thanks for sharing that, Adam. I love that train the trainer model. Not only does it help your school's digital footprint online, but I think it also really gives those students authentic learning experiences so they can experience it for themselves and then give that peer-to-peer instruction with their classmates. So, as you know, this month, Adam, Reminds announced its newest feature with two-way chat. So how will chat help schools, and in particular your school, practice digital citizenship with students and parents?
So super excited about chat. We've been in beta for a few months, and have had a pretty good sized group rolling around and knocking around with chat, and really excited to go full steam ahead with it. And we've been using stamps for a while, which is a nice way to kind of like feed it a little bit. But the feedback from parents has been really great. I actually have a pretty big group that we've worked with. And I was thinking the other day, I kind of see Remind and chat as my new phone number. As principal, a lot of people have my cell phone number because my phone is sitting right here in front of me, and being a principal is very busy. I'm never in my office. You get called and you're all on campus, but people can still get a hold of me with chat. Like, they don't need my mobile number, but it's safe, and I don't need their number. They don't have my number, but they can still communicate. And I'm a pretty open book, open principal, but I'm excited also about office hours, because I'll be able to schedule when parents can contact me, and maybe I'm going to start off with pretty broad and see how it goes, because an informed community is a supportive community, and parents cannot have enough information. I don't feel school communication is so important. This is our year 2 of just using Remind, and the feedback has just been so amazing, and chat just opens up so many more doors. In 2 months, I definitely think we're going to have like 25 more ideas of how to do it, and ways that we can implement. There's no more email. I don't need to have parents sign up via email, or email just is like the drain on so many people's lives. And those quick little messages, and I can't erase them, so there's actually a trail, and just all the safety features that are in there is really great. Anywhere you go to a concert, people have their cell phones. You go to a baseball game, people have their cell phones, right? So mobile communication from a school is how we need to communicate. I'm not calling home, leaving voice recorded messages. I can do that with Remind on my voice recordings, but it goes right to their mobile phone. And we also have survey results. Parents love that there's like the instant check, the instant communication. But also using it with staff too, because you can have obviously multiple classes, making it like an intra-communication system, and communicating throughout the day. Images, just the collaboration piece, the communication piece, for fire drills, for safety concerns, everybody's on the same network, and connected together. It's really powerful. Parents tell me, like, hey, I like to be able to just get a hold of you, and I can't make an appointment. I'm on my phone, and I can send you a quick message, and I'm here to work with you for your child. And the more that parents know, the more they're informed, the harder that they're going to work for us and with us, in conjunction with school communication. We don't send out that 10-page paper newsletter that gets copied for all 550 students, because by the time that you copy it and send it out, most of the information is not even relevant anymore. If I need to send something out right now, I pick up my phone and I send it, or I schedule it for 3 o'clock when the school day is done. Case in point, we have our golf tournament coming up. I sent something out. We already have 10 people signed up, and I just sent a message out this morning. You know, it's really that quick. But with chat, if a parent had a question, they could just respond to me with, "Hey, what's the date? I don't see it on the flyer," right? And I can just answer it really quick. And if it wasn't on the flyer, then I can fix it. Rather than they send an email, 3 hours go by, I check my email, I get back to them. You know, if you have Outlook, the emails totally get clogged up, right? You know, so it's just how we communicate. You know, I like to say that newspapers don't publish once a month, they don't publish once a week, they don't even publish once a day, they publish multiple times a day, and giving parents that information throughout the day. But then in reverse, them having questions throughout the day, you know, that's just the communication stream. It's just part of our workflow. You know, admins have very, very busy lives. Everybody does, and managing that communication workflow is the key to, I believe, school and principal success. So myself and my staff can do what is really important, and that's hang out with kids, work with teachers to support the instructional and educational program. You know, I don't want to be in my office bulldozed by emails. I want to be able to spend time and interact with kids. So, you know, very, very excited about chat. Wrote a blog post about it yesterday. Check out the Remind blog. Some really great feedback already, and I already told you, Clara, like in 2 months I'll write a part 2, because once we start playing with it more on a full wide non-beta level, more ideas will come up, as they will, and people will find different niches and ways to use it, and then, you know, we can bring all those ideas together just for everybody else. So excited about it.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, we're just as excited about chat as you are. You know, so many teachers that I've talked to, they use the one-way Remind announcements to send, you know, really helpful messages to an unlimited amount of subscribers or small groups of students. But I think there are so many circumstances in which you just need to contact, like you said, that one student or that one parent, but do it in a way that is helpful to teachers and helpful to administrators. So like you mentioned, I love the new office hours feature, which I really think makes you Remind chat unique. So teachers and administrators, like you said, are able to set, you know, office hours for when students or parents can request to chat with them. And in addition, there's, like with all Remind messages, there's a recorded message history transcript. So if there's ever any issue, you know, of messaging an individual student or parent back and forth, you can present that transcript. And it's also great, you know, for parent-teacher conferences. So if you're chatting with an individual student and they're really insightful and have some great thoughts that they share in the chat that maybe they were a little bit shy to share in class, that's a great thing to, you know, share with parents. To show them about their child's progress. So we're just as excited, Adam, and we'll be slowly rolling out Remind Chat over the next few weeks. And I know you've had early access to it in the beta. For those of you who are tuning in, be sure to check out Adam's blog post. So it's on our blog at blog.remind.com. And if you would like to have first access to chat, you can easily sign up for our waitlist at remind.com/chat. And if you have any questions about this at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're on Twitter at RemindHQ or on Facebook, facebook.com/RemindHQ. So, Brisa, you know, I'm sure our viewers would love to learn more about Common Sense Educators and some of the resources that you offer both teachers and parents. So how can teachers and parents access your helpful digital citizenship tools and resources?
Yeah, so for one, I'd just like to say to Adam, we're so excited that you're using our resources in your school. That's always a good move. But I have some slides I'd love to share with you guys just to kind of dive into all the different resources here at Common Sense. There is a lot, but I'm just going to touch base on kind of the major programs initiatives that we've got going here. So give me 1 second and I'll get this up and rolling for you guys. Okay. So for those who don't know us at Common Sense, basically we're a nonprofit that was founded back in 2003. We're here to improve the lives of kids and families by improving that trustworthy information, education, and that independent voice that we all need to thrive in a world of media and technology. So Common Sense focuses on 3 different core areas, and it's important to kind of note all of these as we find it to be very helpful in creating that digital citizenship. So we rate, advocate, and educate. So for those who are familiar with kind of the bigger component of Common Sense, which is our 20,000 rating reviews on parents for everything from TV and books, music, apps, etc., to help parents make those informed choices about media for their kids. We also rate educational apps, websites, and games for teachers to make those informed decisions about the tools that they're using with their students. So this is all available through our platform called Graphite. On the advocate side, we work to craft those policies and those legislations that are related to media and technology that affect our kids' lives. So for example, student privacy has been a big focus for us in the past year as more and more data is shared and used at homes and in schools. And last but not least, on my end, the education side, we provide free educational programs for schools to help kids harness that technology for learning, including that digital citizenship, ed tech integration, and one-to-one implications. So for those educators out there, we all know that this is something that you guys all look for and need. So Common Sense program works together on these building blocks, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. We all have to set a foundation, and this is holds true when it comes to digital citizenship. So the ones that I'm going to really look at are digital citizenship and how those can work with connecting families and bridging that kind of gap together. All of these resources can be found on our website, which is www.commonsensemedia.org/educators. So if you look up at the top, you can see all these different programs. Digital citizenship, if you were to click on that, you would see exactly all the different programs that we have. I'm sure some of you are familiar with our digital literacy and citizenship curriculum, but basically that's the whole kit and caboodle. We have a scope and sequence that spans from kindergarten all the way to the top until 12th grade. So basically the curriculum just allows teachers and students to learn how to behave safely, participate responsibly, and think critically in our digital world. That's available on iBook and textbooks. We're also looking to get all of this information on some other platforms which should be available for back to school. Digital Passport is an interactive game geared towards 3rd to 5th graders. So this tool offers games and videos to really help students learn skills related to that digital safety. We've had over 2 million games played on our site and over 2 million games played on BrainPop. So this has been really, really popular. And when this came out, we quickly had all of our educators saying, okay, this is great, but what do you have for middle schoolers? So we just are about to launch our Digital Compass, which is one of my babies, so I'm extremely excited to introduce that. It's a choose-your-own-adventure interactive that basically invites students to explore digital dramas and practice those decision-making behaviors and perspective-taking. We have Digital Fights, which is a program geared towards our teenagers. And this teaches digital citizenship through self-directed, media-rich activities, all based around kind of the what's going on in the world topics, as well as things that we know that kids are struggling with at that time. Graphite, which is a great tool for our educators, as it offers a free service basically to explore and discover the best apps, the games, the websites, and digital curriculum for the classroom, all while utilizing technology tools. We have one-to-one essentials, which is has a variety of different tools available to help schools implement and prepare for those one-to-one rollouts. Our Connecting Families program just launched last fall, and it's designed to really bridge the communication between families and schools around the impact of digital media on our kids. There's a lot of great resources in that program, everything from contracts that you can use with your kids to quizzes that can help you kind of understand where you are at with technology use as well as with your kids. For all of those teachers out there that are looking for PD, we have a professional development program that we offer for free, and that provides online training, webinars, videos, and it's all centered around digital citizenship as well as some other important skills. I just wanted to quickly dive into the heart of what we do here, which is the digital citizenship, digital literacy and citizenship curriculum. So all of these, again, are comprehensive. They're 45-minute lessons. We have student videos that go along with them. We have assessments. They are all aligned to the following standards, Common Core. We've got the American Association of School Librarians. We know that they were one of the first uptakes with all of this. And just to give you an outline of what these look like, we have 8 different topics, which also expands over 65 lessons. So there's 5 lessons in each grade band. And we kind of recommend you guys doing this a grade band either per year, or if someone's doing all of the grade bands and tackling this, they can kind of pick and choose what they want to do. But we hope that everyone will implement it across the grade bands. So the topics are relationships and communication. So this is basically using those interpersonal skills to build and strengthen positive online communities. We've got privacy and security. So this is everything from helping identify those online risks to noting scams and identity thieves, etc. We have internet safety. We've got cyberbullying, which we all know is a hot topic. Digital footprint and reputation. We have self-image and identity. So this is where students get to explore not only their own digital lives and focusing on their online versus offline identity, but also how that interferes or relates to their peers. We have information literacy, and then we have creative credit and copyright. So we really now live in a copy-paste culture. We really feel that students need to reflect on those responsibilities and the rights that they have as a creator on this online space, but as well as how they consume, how they create, and how they share that information. When you dive into a lesson, we've got a variety of different things that you can share, not only with your parents, but with your peers as a student. If you're a teacher, you can have your kids take home these parent tip sheets. You can distribute the resources, through sending it home, giving it to the kid, and in a minute I'll talk about how you can use Remind to utilize these features. And then just to give you a quick example of what it will look like when you dive into a lesson, this will come up and you'll basically be able to download the materials. You'll be able to see what kind of materials we have in different languages. If you download this, it will give you all the resources that you need. And again, we'll dive into that a little bit after we introduce the toolkit. Back to you, Claire.
Thanks so much for sharing all these really helpful resources, Brisa. I know that Common Sense Media and Common Sense educators are so helpful, not only for teachers but for parents as well. When I was teaching middle school, I used your resources quite frequently because I think especially in middle school, so many students are beginning to develop these social media profiles and really need the guidelines of, how to go about it. And Graphite is really helpful as well for those of you who haven't used it before. If you just go to graphite.org, There are reviews for ed tech apps that are nonpartisan and reviewed by educators. So it's really helpful when selecting ed tech tools for your classroom. So thank you again, Brisa. I know Common Sense Educators and Remind recently collaborated to produce a free digital citizenship starter kit. So what kinds of resources are in this kit, and where can educators find it?
Okay, well, let me dive in that. I will share my screen again so that you guys can see what we're talking about. So when you need to find this toolkit, it's at www.commonsensemedia.org/educators/remind. So you'll get this page, and everything is here that you need. So we've got some of the videos that we refer to in the toolkit. We have some introductions to some of the other resources that are available for you. But all you have to do is basically click on this, and it's going to take you to the toolkit itself. You can download this, or you can utilize it by sending it home. Let me just make sure. Sorry, guys. There we go. So if you just want to dive into here, it's basically set up in such a way that each teacher, whatever grade band they are looking at to teach, can go in here and have a week-long worth of digital citizenship activities. So, you know, this is a tool that's focused on helping teachers connect instantly with their classes with their mobile devices through Remind. And we really wanted to showcase and get people excited about the two-way chat conversations, but also familiarize them with all the different ways in which they could use this. So in the packet, you'll find that the action plan is broken down by grade band. So we've got the K through 2, we've got 3 through 5, 6 through 8, and then, of course, high school. So you can either teach this the recommended common sense way, which is, as you can see right here in the classroom lessons, we say that you can either do a 45-minute lesson, or if you're a little crunched on time, you can take one of our teach examples. So if we look on Monday right here, it says teach for internet trip, the internet field trip. If you only have 10 minutes, this is what I would have you do instead of the 45-minute lesson. When we've got some family co-engagement activities, and then we have some parent tips. So as you can see, the first day, we just introduce you to the one-way announcements, and then we start to build on that. This is just to get everybody engaged, get them familiar with it, and then we can kind of dive into a little bit more of those areas. So let's just walk through one of them, if we will. So let's look at Wednesday right here. You can teach a 45-minute lesson, and it'll bring up exactly that lesson. So this one is keep it private. You can look through here, and again, we already showcased this a little bit, but just so you are familiar with it, you can kind of see the Common Core, how it lines up with that. It showcases the materials and preparation that's needed for this lesson. It's got some of the additional languages, vocabulary, and then if you just click on download the material lessons, it'll quickly pull up a PDF. And again, everything is just laid out for you. This is turnkey. You can modify it any way you need to, but if you're going to give the whole lesson, it walks you through it. And if you've got that 10 minutes, then this is where we would direct you to these certain examples. So it says on the toolkit if it's Teach 1 or Teach 2. Let's just go back to the toolkit. And so once you've done that, depending on how your teacher, or I'm sorry, your parents or students work, and this is up to you guys, you know how to utilize this information the best way. Maybe you want to send a family co-engagement activity at the end of the day. Maybe you want to send a message that you're going to do something that evening and then send this at the end of the day along with the parent tip. I would suggest that you send them at the same time, just because you can then utilize that attention span that we all have such a short span of attention at the moment, as Adam was talking about earlier. So for example, under the family co-engagement, there's a message that we're saying, send me a voice clip of you and your friends or family singing Pause and Think online. You can find this MP3 music file with or without the lyrics here. So you can basically copy and paste all of this into your Remind account, and then it will bring them up to the Pause and Think video, and then they can basically send you back a voice clip. Over here we've got the one-way feature that basically says, okay, here's a quiz, send the quiz, and then how did you score? Did you score above 90? Send us a star. Above 75, a check, and below 75, an X. So that way you can kind of utilize those stamps. You can go through this and kind of see all the different examples we have, the different lessons that they're tied to, as well as familiarizing yourself with the different guidelines that Remind's community has for a safe conversation, as well as some of the other ways that we've put out that you can continue this conversation about digital citizenship. So again, although we've kind of put this out for you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's really up to you guys to determine how you want to use this, how you need to modify it. If you want to turnkey, there you go. If you need to mix it up, feel free. We're happy to let you do whatever works for you guys. So again, all of this can be accessed on our website, and I know that Remind is going to be putting it onto their teacher resources after a little facelift, right? So if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. We're happy to walk you guys through this. So I will send this back to you.
Thanks so much for that really helpful overview, Brisa. I think it's really important. For the longest time, Remind has been, one-way announcements to parents and students, which haven't allowed for any instant feedback or open responses. So when we started thinking about having Remind chat and having two-way conversation, we really wanted to partner with an organization that would highlight the importance of digital citizenship and how students and parents can use this technology to really have a positive digital footprint. So as I'm sure most of you know who have students, students are constantly texting and on their mobile phones, but many times it's for social purposes. So through Remind, we really want them to be able to use this technology of mobile messaging for learning. It's right at their fingertips. It can instantly connect them with their teacher, and their teacher can reach them even when they're not in the classroom. So it's a really powerful means of being able to connect with students and parents, and also increase engagement with students and as well as parent participation. So since we have a little bit more time, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And I wanted to walk you through, let's see, you can see that there, the chat website. So again, Remind's been around for about 2.5 years. The way we started were by two brother co-founders. Our CEO, Brett Kopf, when he has severe dyslexia and ADHD, and when he found when he was in college were that when his friends texted him homework assignments or different reminders for the syllabus, he was much more likely to remember, the content and the different due dates. And so he thought, wow, if this really helps me, I bet I can help so many teachers and so many students out there to be connected, through mobile devices. So as we started out, for those of you who have used Remind for a while, we've been, one-way announcements, and as Adam mentioned, we recently introduced stamps. So within the app, students and parents can stamp messages, with a star, an X, a question mark, or a check. And so that gives you really instant feedback, and you can see all the names of students and parents of how they've responded. But we really want to bridge that gap and open up communication two-way between parents and students and teachers, but in a safe and secure way, and in a way where it's really feasible for teachers, so they're not, responding to 100 messages on their phones when they go home. So if you go to remind.com/chat, you can learn a little bit about chat and some of its features that will be slowly rolling out over the next few weeks. And so if you'd like first access to it, again, you can just go to remind.com/chat to make sure that you get first access to it on your account. So I just wanted to go through this a little bit here. So you can see, like, one of the reasons we created chat was to really bridge that gap. So students and parents, have cell phones wherever they are, whether parents are at work or they're on the go. You can reach them instantly, through the Remind app or through SMS text messages. So that's for students and parents who don't have smartphones. Remind is also accessible. And we really wanted to make it simple conversation. So one of the first pushbacks we had at Remind when we were talking about two-way communications were teachers said, I don't want to have, 100 messages from students and parents from my class when I get home, when I'm out of my office hours. So we've really made it easy for teachers to set office hours for when students and parents can contact them, and they can start and pause conversations with ease. I'm going through this a little bit more. And so you can also choose how you connect. So there are several teachers that use Remind that don't want to use that two-way communication feature, and we completely understand that, and we want teachers to know that, as always, they can use these one-way announcements without any reply back. And as always, students and parents can stamp messages for that quick feedback, but this is really helpful, especially for when you're sending messages to large amounts of subscribers. So each Remind class can have an unlimited amount of subscribers, so you could potentially even have your entire district on a Remind class to send, important messages and updates. I know this has been really helpful with all of the school cancellations for snow days. So there's so many times that maybe parents and students aren't checking their email. It shows up as like a quick text, so they know their assignments for the day and if school is canceled. So again, you can choose how you connect. You can send those announcements, or you can start a chat for a one-to-one conversation. In my experience, I think this will be really helpful, especially for students who have, specialized needs, special needs students or ELL learners, that you just want to be able to connect with that one student or that one parent. You don't have to broadcast it to the entire class or to a group of students. So it's really helpful, on the go to make those changes or send, specific resources to students, and really helps you to differentiate instruction. So again, just a couple highlights. It's safe and secure. As with all Remind one-way announcements, you can access your recorded message history at any time. So any announcement you send, any chat you have with a student or a parent, there is a complete transcript of all messages. So again, if you would need to present that transcript to an administrator or to a parent, you can easily access that to have it recorded. And we also help to maintain a safe environment with new reporting tools. So this basically means that if there's any inappropriate language or any specific language that you'd like to flag within a chat, you can immediately flag it and report to us. And as always, personal information is kept private. So I know, with my experience as a middle school teacher, I didn't necessarily want my 12 and 13-year-old students to have my personal phone number, just to maintain that, work-life balance and have privacy issues. So with Remind, it's great because students and parents opt into your class with a unique class code, much like they would with a Twitter handle. So it's a very unique class code. They can sign up for your class either by texting that code to the number 81010, or if they're on the app, they can just search for your code and sign up for your class that way. So that way you also don't have to go through the process of collecting 60 email addresses at the beginning of the school year. And then at the bottom here, we really want as many teachers to have early access to chat as possible. So you just go ahead and put your first, your last name, and a class code, and you can join the wait list here to make sure that you have access to it as we're slowly rolling it out over the next couple weeks. I'm going to go ahead and stop this here.
Clara, can I say a couple things?
Yeah, definitely, Adam.
So Brisa, just to piggyback on something, I really love the curriculum because I really see that as a sandbox, and I'm thinking in the elementary world where kids as a springboard to so many other areas of their life in social media, where the sandbox is a safe place. They can learn, they can go through the curriculum with their teacher, who is the mentor, and who could be learning along with them, but they know the right path to follow. So we've had a really, really great experience with the Common Sense curriculum, and I'm really excited for the starter kit as well. And Clara, something else you said has me thinking. Teachers are concerned with getting parents will be sending them chats all the time, and their inbox will be overloaded. This is my 5th year as an administrator, and what I can tell you is the more I communicate, the fewer emails that I get, because when parents know what's going on and they're informed, it actually has the reverse effect. And actually, since this is my 3rd year at my current school, my emails intake daily has gone down, and I really, really attribute that to all the communication that we're pushing out. So parents, they're not emailing because they don't have the questions, right? And I just go back to the point of an informed community is a supportive community that will be there for you to support you and their students and the teachers. So I think that might be the initial reaction, but I think after you get going on that, because again, to go back to that 10-page newsletter, that information they're getting every 2 weeks or maybe once a month. Well, in that time, there are questions, but if you feed information to your community throughout, they feel connected, but also they feel informed. There are so many attributes, positive attributes to that. So I just wanted to add my two cents on those from a principal standpoint. And I would say that the same things would go for a teacher as well too. The more you communicate, the more engaged people are. So.
Thanks, Adam. That's a really helpful insight. I think you bring up a great point that the more you communicate with students and parents, again, there's less questions that they may have. So, I can imagine if you send a remind message home to the entire school, that really helps so you don't get, 50 messages asking the same question. And I also think, it's a really great opportunity to teach digital citizenship since you're using mobile tools, like what's appropriate behavior for students when messaging their teacher. So I think, it's a great learning experience, and we're really excited to be rolling this out. And I think it also brings opportunities that weren't there before, and allows us to produce such great content like this Digital Citizenship Starter Kit with Common Sense Media. So I'm going to turn to the Twitter channel really quick and see if anyone has any questions. So again, if you have any questions, please tweet them with the hashtag DigCitChat. So that's DIGCITCHAT. It looks like we have one here from Janet Brownell, who asks if chat is going to be available soon for those who are on the wait list. So Janet, how it's going to work over the next few weeks, once a chat is ready to go, we'll slowly be rolling out, a set amount of accounts at a time, and first access will go to those who are on the wait list. And also, we did a couple of Twitter chats with New York Ed Chat, PT Chat, Ed Chat, and we had a promotion, I believe it was about 2 weeks ago, for some teachers to actually have their names boosted up to at the very top of the wait list. So they will have first access first. But if you're on the wait list, don't worry, you'll have chat access probably over the next few weeks. And then those who are not on the wait list will have it, turned on over the next few weeks after that. So again, I do want to stress that chat is completely opt-in. So if you do not want to use that two-way communication and you want to continue sending one-way announcements, you can do it as you always have before. And if you'd like to use both, you can put on your office hours for when you're available, but also send, those one-way announcements as well. Great. So I'm looking here, I've got some great folks participating on the hashtag. Thanks, Lisa Dabbs, for all of your great comments and positive thoughts about Common Sense Media. And Emily, it looks from Remind, is on here. Thanks again to Janet. Great. So, Brisa, are there any other, resources that you have coming up that you're excited about to share with teachers and students around digital citizenship?
Yeah, so I briefly discussed Digital Compass, but considering it's been all my sweat and tears in it for the last couple months, we're really excited to push this new incentive out. It's a great tool for middle schoolers. We also see that it could be utilized in upper elementary and even ninth grade in high school. We're all familiar with those old choose your own adventure books, and this basically takes that book and puts it into kind of a digital format with animated characters that gets kids not only engaged and excited, but familiar with kind of the ins and outs of that digital world and kind of those pitfalls that you can play with. And we really would like to have teachers utilize it as a way where kids can kind of play in that sandbox that Adam talked about, as well as kind of tiptoeing out a little bit, kind of testing the waters, and then coming back into that safe garden space within the classroom. So it's coming out in April. We're really excited. We know that it's going to be well received. It's in the pilot stage right now, and we've already had a great reaction to it. So look out for that, and look out for any of the other new products that we have, programs and products that were coming out this year.
Thanks, Brisa. And like you said, I think practicing digital citizenship is just about starting, dipping your toe in the pond. I know it's even as early as kindergarten, teaching kids the importance of passwords, and so it's never too early to start. Adam, I loved the idea that you shared earlier about the train-the-trainer model and having student interns help with social media and help with the image of your school online. Is there any advice you could give to teachers who are looking to implement a similar program in their schools and kind of how you would go about it?
Sure. So we've been tweeting and using social media here for the last few years, so the kids are really used to the conversation and being exposed to it, and I don't just let it go, and it'll take on a life of its own, and just be there to support. Don't think that you need to have 5 meetings and spend hours and hours planning everything out and making parameters and rubrics. What I did was I went to my student council, talked to my teachers, picked 2 students. I gave them an iPad. I said, hey, go around campus and take cool pictures, because I wanted to see what students saw, right? It's like student voice. It's like the student scope is so important. They came back to my office. I have really cool candlestick seats in my office. I had them sit in the candlestick seats, and we crafted tweets together. And we also actually did some remind messages. So I showed them, I've taught them about hashtags. I've showed them about taking students' photos, to be respectful of that, what to write, what not to write, make sure you've spell checked. And my first iteration of interns, that was about a month and a half ago, they're on their own. They just grab an iPad. I have our John Sweat. You can see our Twitter handle behind you. I already have it loaded on the iPad, and they have full reign. And they hashtag every tweet with kid tweet, just so we know that a student sent that, which I think is really powerful. So then our community can see what kids see. And then the trainers, gosh, it was so awesome to see 4 kids in my office, the 2 training the other 2, and then the other 2 asking questions, and then me seeing the new 2 on campus, and they have the iPad, and just to see that iteration, it's like proud papa. And yeah, they're in 5th grade, but next year or in middle school, they might have Snapchat accounts or whatever the medium is going to be, and hopefully they've thought about their principal and the work that we've done, or other students have seen them do it, and we have conversations with classes, and also again, like I talked to my PTA and our site council, getting those parent groups not necessarily on board, but informing them, just to let them know what we're doing and then the safe way that we're doing it and our intentions. They really appreciate. 2 years ago when we rolled out Remind, I did it at a PTA meeting, and we started just with my PTA board. I wanted to get their involvement first. You start there, that organic grassroots level, and then you build it. And And the students is just the next piece, and I think every high school and middle school should have interns. Jason Markey, you can find him on Twitter. I believe he's at Jason Markey. He's a principal, high school principal in Illinois, and you know, he has a very similar model. He's been doing it longer than I have, but where he enables those students to take a hold of their accounts and you know, hey, Facebook, Twitter, Flickr, whatever it is. And that's the best way. You know, I'll hold your hand and show you the right way. You know, some kids can read a book or watch a movie and understand it, but hands-on approach is really great. So I think it hits multiple modalities of seeing their perspective, but then also working together. And hey, again, that's why we're here, to support kids and help them grow. And it's as Clara, you know, I like to say, it's edu awesome. It's fun.
Thanks so much for sharing that, Adam. Yeah, it's so important. I can't stress enough, you know, teaching students the importance of digital citizenship, the importance of building that positive digital footprint. Because, you know, Adam, like, I know with your students, it's not only going to follow them on into middle school, but also skills they're going to need for, you know, college and for the workforce. I know even, you know, from my point of view, creating that digital footprint online, is, I'm sure you do too, Adam, with ed chats and sharing different content with teachers and building your professional learning network. All of those skills start so early. So it's so important to teach students these really important skills for building that digital footprint. And there isn't a better way than some of the resources with Common Sense Media. So it looks like we're almost at 2 p.m. So I'd like to take a moment to thank Adam and Brisa for joining us this afternoon and sharing such helpful tools and strategies. So how can those who are tuning in get in touch with you via social media? Why don't we go ahead and start with Adam?
Sure, you can get me on Twitter. It's below my name, @awelcome. @awelcome is also my Voxer user ID, so you can send me a Vox if you like. And my school is right behind you, @JSE Roadrunners. Our hashtag is #TeamKid. If you want to follow all of our tweets, every single one of our teachers is on Twitter, and we use it daily. And if you ever want to come sit in my candlestick seats, send me a message and you can come visit my school. Clara, you still owe me a visit.
I know, I've got to make it out there soon. I have no excuse, you're really close. We're in San Francisco and Adam's over in Martinez. Brisa, how can those who are tuning in get in touch with you via Twitter if they have any questions?
Yeah, so you guys are welcome to connect with us at CommonSense.edu. We also have a Facebook, Common Sense Educators. If you need to email me, you're welcome to do so. Have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you guys. So that's BAYUB@commonsense.org. You can also send us those good old smokescreen signals, and I'm sure we can find them. So it's been a pleasure with you guys. We're so excited to have worked with Remind. We're really excited to push this out. It's a great resource. So please utilize it. Ask us questions if you have any.
Thanks so much, Brisa. And thank you again for tuning into our chat and digital citizenship webinar. And a big thanks to Adam and Brisa. So to learn more about Remind, you can simply visit our site at remind.com and sign up for an account in 15 seconds. All you need is an email address. Or you can check out our blog. We're blog.remind.com for tips on how to use the free service with your class, including Adam's great blog posts on how administrators can use chat. You can reach out to us directly. We're on Twitter @RemindHQ, or we're on Facebook, facebook.com/RemindHQ, and we're happy to answer any of your questions, so feel free to tweet us or post a comment on Facebook. And you can access this webinar anytime, so if you have colleagues that weren't able to tune in live, it's going to go ahead and live on our Google Plus page, that's Google Plus RemindHQ, or on our RemindHQ YouTube channel. I'm Clara Galan, and I'm on Twitter @MissClaraGalan, signing off from the Remind headquarters in San Francisco. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a wonderful afternoon.